Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm in West Bromwich. And today what I thought I'd do is take you around an area where once mining used to be the main industrial area of the place. Mining was everywhere around here, and I'm in Hateleigh Heath, and I didn't realise how much mining coal mining actually occurred around here. If you walk along Whitten Lane, then you will find to your left, as you're coming down from the top end by Hilltop, there's Crookade Lane, and round Crookade Lane there'd be Crookade Colliery, there'd be Whitten Lane mining round there, there'd be one or two other areas which was mining just off Holloway Bank. And as we went further down, as you would go down further down Whitten Lane, there'd be more mining down there on the left by what was once known as Menzies School. It's an extraordinary amount of mining around that area, and all its accompanying mine shafts. I don't know how deep the mines were around there. Might have been a lot of shallow mining, I don't know. But when you look now, it's completely covered in houses. So all these areas that were major mining areas of the town are now got lots of houses built on them. So I don't know how comfortable you'd be living in a house that was, you knew there was mining underneath, but anyway, it doesn't seem to bother a lot of people because there's loads and loads of houses built on that particular area. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where the mining activity took place down Whitten Lane and Jowett's Lane, Clark's Lane, as we walk along Hateleigh Heath. We're just at the top of Whitten Lane, and if you go to the right here at the lights, you go down into Wednesbury, down the Holloway Bank, and if you go to the left, you'll be on your way towards Hilltop and West Bromwich town itself. But today, this is where I'm going. I'm going to go down here, Whitten Lane. And just before I do, just look over here, all these new types of apartments. They've been there around about the 90s, I think. Prior to that, there used to be some, some poorly built maisonettes. Flat roof maisonettes, and I think they was built in the late 50s, early 60s, and got demolished in around about the 80s, early 90s, I think. Before then, there was a mission hall of sorts behind there. Just here, we'd have the Balls Hill Farm. There's an area known as Balls Hill. I think it was a bit further down the Holloway Bank, but there was a farm anyway. But what we're really looking at, of course, down here is that how much mining there was around this particular area of Hateleigh Heath, because we got the Beth I don't know how you pronounce this one, Bethesda Chapel just here, and by that side of there, or round about there, there'd be the Balls Hill Colliery. Lots of mining would be all over the back of Brindley Road, all down Brindley Road, around the back of there, there'd be all mining. And as you can see today, there's all these houses built on the area where mining used to take place, just around about these parts. I wouldn't know if there was any deep mining around here. A lot of it was shallow mining. Some of the shafts some of them could be quite deep. But here we got the Bethesda Chapel. And the Bethesda Chapel here was built on what was once, as I said, the Balls Hill Farm. And Bethesda means the house of mercy, or the house of grace. The name refers to a miracle that took place at a pool mentioned in the New Testament in the Gospel of St. John. Now, what about this place here? What we're talking here, this is called Lead Transport, but it used to be. But what an eyesore, eh? I should have included this on one of my I saw building list. Just forgot all about it. But it's an absolute tip, isn't it? Now this has been around here since the 30s, 40s, 1930s, and it's got some outbuildings at the back. It looks like it was a scrapyard or something, or a depot or warehouse, something like that. But no, I don't think it's used for anything, is it? Just there ahead of me there on the right is the entrance to Hilltop Park. I did a video on Hilltop Park if you want to check that one out. And as I said, here's the church here to my left. There you go, just up there is your entrance to the Hilltop Park. This place here, just ahead, is the I think it looks like a newish property called Trident Fish and Chips. But the building next to it, well, it used to be a pub. It used to be known as the Junction. The original pub on that site was built around 1853. But it was demolished around about the 1940s, and a new pub. The new pub called the Junction was built on the same site. But as you can see now, it's a supermarket. Nisa local. It closed in around, well, I don't know, was it about 2008? And it closed. And all around here, as I said, was the Balls Hill Colliery. Of course, the original pub would have been serving all those that worked on the mines in this area. There's one or two pubs around here. And there's a very famous road, in as much as that it's a very old road. It was Croquet Lane. And Croquet Lane was one of these lanes that would serve all the mines down there. We'd have the Croquet Colliery. And right down the bottom of Croquet Lane, we'd have the Diamond Pit Head. The Black Diamond Pit Head. Right down the bottom there. Near what is now known as Winchester Road. And just down Croquet Lane you'll find another public house. It's called the Cottage Spring, which we'll just have a quick look at whilst we're here. Now all around the pub there'd be mining to the left and mining to the right. There's still a few green areas around here where there was actual mine shafts which houses haven't been built on. But the Cottage Spring has been undergoing some kind of renovation for a while now, I've noticed, but I do believe it's now open. But the signage is not very clear. Needs a new sign. But the Cottage Spring there's a pub been on that site since 1850, again to serve the mining area. It got demolished in 1960, and a new one was built on its present site. And there's Schofield Road. Schofield Avenue. As I come out of Croquet Lane and rejoining Whitton Lane, just notice this house here. One of the original porches to the houses that were built in the mid to late 50s. I'm assuming it's the original porch. It looks like one. I might be wrong. There's Reading Square. Another one of that roads that doesn't lead anywhere except to lots of houses. Oh yeah, there's another one here. Yeah, I thought that might have been a little bit rare, but there is another one here. Just here, look, the original porches. But all here was at the Whitton Lane Colliery. There was all mining here where all these houses were, along this side of Whitton Lane. This is Greater X Court. Gives you more of an indication of the space here. That was where all this mining took place. You can see ahead of me now is another pub. This is the second of 3 pubs that's still open. This is the Three Horseshoes. Now the Three Horseshoes has been there a while. It's been around there since about 1864. Once was the home of the Hilltop Pigeon Club. Do you remember a magazine called The Fur and Feather? Yeah, I think that was something to do with pigeons. But it's open. Don't know how busy it is in there. I often wonder how busy pubs are, aren't they? Lunchtimes these days in the week. Today's a Wednesday afternoon, and there's a couple of cars on the car park. Fine old pub that. I did a video about Edwin Phillips Drive a while back. He's the only person in West Bromwich who achieved the Victoria Cross, but they got his name wrong, didn't they? So instead of changing the name, which would cause absolute mayhem if they had have done, I suppose, because everyone had all registered their houses and their documentation as Edward Phillips Drive. But his name was actually Robert Edwin Phillips, VC, 1895 to 1968, awarded the Victoria Cross during the First World War. It was around about here, very, very hard to determine, but there was a canal that once ran along here called the Dartmouth Branch, and it would serve all those collieries that were in the yonder, like the Balls Hill Colliery and the Whitton Lane Colliery and the Crookay mining area. But there's no signs of where this canal would have run now. Obviously all filled in. The canal itself, the Dartmouth Branch, was a spur off the Ridgeacre Canal, and the Dartmouth Branch would join up with the Birmingham Canal in the over yonder. Just beyond these houses here in Edwin Phillips Drive, there's a factory. You can hardly see it. It's like Fort Knox at the front. But if you look through the gaps of the house, you can see there is a factory. I don't know what it actually does. Yeah, I couldn't really find anything for what that factory's called. It's quite long. I just spoke to somebody, and she told me that they make brass fittings, and there are people working in there. Although I've just been standing nearby, I could hardly hear anything for such a large area. But on that site used to be the Albert Iron Works. And of course, as I mentioned, the canal would run alongside to feed the Albert Iron Works as well. The Iron Works had been there since the late 1880s, 1890s. There's the Three Horseshoes again, just up there. Anyway, we continue our journey along here, and the Hately Heath estate itself began building in around 1955. We do have the bus services running up and down here, look, as you can see. And the double-deckers. I remember the double-deckers. It was a comedy, wasn't it? Early 1970s. We had some great programmes on the TV when we was kids, didn't we? In the 70s. Yeah, White Horses, Flashing Blade, Rupert the Bear. Yeah, it was all going on, wasn't it? Follyfoot. Well, the guy who was the main character on the Follyfoot farm The actor's name is Steve Hudson. He died a few months ago. He was only in his 70s. Yes, the female actor who played alongside him, her name is Gillian Blake. She's still with us, but nobody else who took part in Follyfoot still living. They've all gone. Now, just ahead, we'll see the Gough Arms. And the Gough Arms is another one of these pubs that is not original. Oh, you can see another one of these. I keep seeing these porches now. These original ones. Look, Gough Arms. See where that black car is? Just parked on the pavement, just there. That's where the original Gough Arms used to stand. It was bulldozed. Well, it was there since 1861. It was demolished in around about the early 1930s, and this was the building that took its place. A much bigger and grander building than the one it preceded. The Gough Arms, look, about a 1930s build, look. Quite a big place. And it's quite a popular spot too. And we've got 3 shops there. I don't know what is that, a beauty school it says. The first one, Magic Kitchen, and a convenience store. It's got Express and Star. And all here to my left, where this bus stop, just walk down here a little bit. I'll show you here by the side of this bus stop here. There'd be another mining area. Again, it was part of the Crookhay Colliery, but here where all the greenery is, there were proper coal shafts down there. This is where the main pit heads were, where all the trees are. And oh, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, there's Schofield Avenue. If you went up there, obviously you would find the Cottage Spring. But this is all mining here, just ahead of me. And this is where the main shafts were for the Crookhay Colliery. And as you can see, it's all open greenery now, and it's all a kind of a play area. And the board there says it's called Hawthorne Fields. Just ahead of me, you can see the bus, the old West Bromwich colours. Look, if you ever wondered back in the day what colour were the old buses of the West Bromwich Corporation, there you can see just over there. There's a double decker in those original colours. That bus must be getting on a bit. And now we're on what is known as Jowett Lane. So let's continue our walk down Jowett Lane. I'm just going to take you down to the Phoenix Collegiate. That was once Menzies High School. As you can see, there was so much mining over the back of these houses. So much of it. And now today there's so much housing built on top of it. Would you buy a house built on what was once where mining took place, eh? Should be safe enough. I mean, there's a lot of surveys always done before these sorts of things are built. But then you hear stories of subsidence, don't you, later on down the line. Just over there we've got the Cognitive Behaviour Clinic, which I don't think it's one of those anymore. But next to it we've got our first Turkish barbers. His name is Noah. He calls it the Noah Hair Salon. He doesn't look particularly busy. He's on his phone. Laddie Sweets, Indian sweet shop. Somebody did tell me what that shop was once on the corner of Linton Avenue, but I'd forgotten now. But that looks a bit of an eyesore just up there, doesn't it? Looks like a greenhouse. Looks like a greenhouse, isn't it? There's a few shops here that serve the residents of Hatelee Heath just here. There's the good old convenience store called John's Booze. And if I just pan over there, at least we've got an Emily's Hair and Beauty Salon, and there's a cafe. That wasn't open not so long ago. It looks like it's closed up now. And there's a Chinese takeaway there, and that probably opens in the evening. And it's got a laundrette as well, look. There's a few more of those dotted around the towns than I thought, you know. I thought with all people with washing machines, we wouldn't see many of those, but there's still a fair few knocking around. Now here we've got Allerton Lane. Allerton Lane leads you down to, well, if you carry on down Allerton Lane, you will reach Wednesbury. Okay, we leave Jowett Lane behind, and now we're enjoying what is known as Clark's Lane. Yes, this was once the Menzies High School ahead of me, but it got largely demolished some years back, and it's now called the Phoenix Collegiate. Bit of an odd name. Now this is Gordon Avenue, and straight ahead there's some. When I did do the video about Menzies School, looking for any trace of the school, I did find this bit here, just through these green gates. There's the old, I think it's called the old staff car park. Look, you can see Gordon Avenue going down there. Yeah, this was the old staff car park, I believe. You can see signs of the entrance here. But again, this is an area where there was mining. All through this gate, where you can see this, where car parking has been laid out. Look, this is now, of course, not unused now. But those people, kids who back in the day used to go to Menzies School, probably know what that building is up there. It looks like a garage or storage or something. But over there used to be mine shafts of coalfield mining over in the distance beyond beyond that little storage depot. There's all mining over there, and yeah, it's and of course it's all green sited, so there's nothing built in. I think a lot of it is where it's used as a for the pupils of the school to play on, or there's a running track around there, and one or two other areas of activity they use it for. But that was all a large mining area. This is Lindsay Road, and Lindsay Road, way back before all this was built, this was the site of a brook, a babbling brook called a Hobnail Brook. And this brook was it was a byproduct, if you like, of the collieries that were especially the brook here used to join up with the millfield shafts and the millfield colliery right at the top of Allerton Lane, and it would come from the Millfield colliery, and it would run right down the middle of this particular part here of Lindsay Road. Brook's all covered in, no sign of the brook now, I don't believe, and it would have continued to the Hall End where there was a large chemical works. So it would go all the way along there to the top, run through all those houses that are built up ahead, and it would join the Hall End chemical works, yeah. Coach and Horses just ahead of me. Right, the Coach and Horses was built in 1958, and it was an M&B pub for a time, until the Wetherspoon came along and called it the Moon Underwater in 1998, before it changed its name back in around about 2006, I believe. And it's good to see that the Coach and Horses is still trading. Loads of mining around here. I didn't know it was just one big huge mining area. Didn't stop the council building houses on there, did it? So I should imagine most people are comfortable enough about living in houses around here. I've never heard any reports that there's an issue with the houses in this area. But anyway, I'm not sure it would be for me. But anyway, A lot of areas these days now where loads of old factories are being torn down, these large brownfield sites now being taken over for housing. So again, these brown site areas were all littered with chemicals and metals and poisons and all kinds of stuff where these houses were built on brownfield sites. There's loads of areas up and down the country and around the Black Country where there was large iron foundries and all these large industries where housing is built upon. So, you know, the land itself has obviously all been reclaimed now and housing is on it, but it just makes you think sometimes what's under your feet, doesn't it? Anyway, we'll leave it at that, and if you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.